Welcome to the Saturday edition of The Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and joined by Mark Olmos. And Mark, a very exciting day, the Sweps at WATC Derby Day.
So exciting, Adam. Some great listed races and I think 4 features we've got on the card to preview, including the 3,200 metre West Australia Stakes, which we don't usually see over here nowadays.
It's always interesting to see how those horses go with the extra 800 metres compared to what they normally do run. We'll take a look at the conditions that we are going to be faced with. The mover rail is out 3 metres, running on a good 4 as well. And just do keep an eye on the weather conditions because there has been rain forecasted a little bit around as well.
But we should be fine. I think it's going to hold off till Sunday. So get down to the track. Great
Fingers crossed, as we said, it will be a great day of racing. Let's take a look at race number 1. It is the Real Ice Tico Handicap over the 1,600 metres. Really good races, but some very different form lines.
Absolutely, Adam. We've got some Wednesday form lines and we've got a couple of 3-year-olds in there taking on the older horses. Our replay horse is going to be number 6, Sasso Circus, who won on a Wednesday.
Sasso Circus, well, Gloryland didn't offer too much resistance at the top of the straight. He was quickly gathered up by Queen of Choice down the outside, Fabulistic, and also the favourite Sasso Circus. And with 100 left to go, he's in overdrive, Sasso Circus. He put paid to Fabulistic, jetting to London, running on late, but Sasso Circus draws away and completes.
Has been going really well, Sasso Circus, hasn't it? 3 in a row, and in each run looked as though it was never going to get there. It always looks in trouble around the bend, but then shows that brilliant turn of foot. Patrick Carberry takes a ride here now with Universal Law being ridden by William Pye, but Pat has a very good association with this horse. We've seen that before. Draw nicely in the barrier 5. I do think this race, though, is going to be too hard for it to handle. Yeah,
last start was good, as we mentioned, on a Wednesday, and it was a little bit easier than it was doing it previously. So it'll be interesting to see how he takes the step up to 72 class against horses of the ilk of Northridge, who we know is a proven performer. Look, was disappointing last start. $2.80, I think, second favourite or favourite when it was beat comfortably by Saxon's Patch. The runs before that were good, though.
I don't read anything into the last run whatsoever. It was a leader's day. Whoever was on that rail was hot. Saxon's Patch got up at about $80 and, to be honest, probably won't win another race again. I think that's the form line from it. So although you're right, on face value, very disappointing. Didn't run on, didn't make up ground. As I said, Oz put a complete line through that. And if you go then to start before, you've got a win over Carry the Nation by a length. 2 starts before that, a win over Muscat's at Dawn as well. So still has won 2 of its past 4 in really good form. The 3 kilo claim as well is a big bonus. So just the 56 kilos. If they're able to run on, Northridge would be the one to hold out.
Absolutely. The claim and the mile are the big things for me, Adam. I've got it on top. But we'll have a look at number 8, Universal Law as well. The 3-year-old gelding for the Peters by Beneteau, second up into this, and its last run was enormous when it was being scrubbed up the whole way, and then for some reason just didn't get going in the wet, but then got going at the later stages and almost pinched it.
One of probably the ugliest runs you'll ever see. Missed the kick, as you mentioned, was struggling throughout, then started travelling nicely, then under pressure again, then you went 250 metres out, gone, and then all of a sudden decided to rock up and only just missed out, losing to Brisanto on that occasion. The step up in distance here is a big bonus. William Pike goes back on board. Universal Law has a lot of talent. This is a galloper that ran very similar times, a perfect reflection on the same day when we saw them at Belmont Park. I do believe that they believe this is going to be one of their better runners as a 3 and 4-year-old as well. So I think Universal Law is the one to beat, and that is the way that I'm going to be tipping. Number 8 on top from number 7, Showy Chloe, number 1, Northridge, and 2, Woodbine.
I've got the 1 on top, Northridge, from 8, Universal Law, 4, Eurosun, and number 7, Showy Chloe.
Race number 2 at Ascot's the Red Shoe Society WA Handicap over the 1,000 metres. And again, some strong form lines coming into this race. The likes of Brisanto, Recalled. We know that Mystic Maid's raced at the top level as well in listed races. And even a Kentucky Lassam return.
A really tough one to have a look at. Even at the bottom there, Captivated Point, who was impressive. Winning just a maiden, but still did it really nicely. Our replay horse is Brisanto, who won last start in the wet.
Recoiled about 2 or 3 horses away from the fence, led the way from Express Boy. He's nicely clear the fave. Further back, Peggy's Marie, Brisanto, Sporting Image with 150 left to go. It's Recoiled in front, Express Boy making a contest of it. Brisanto running on, Recoiled, stopping Express Boy. Here's Universal Law as well. They went to the line, Brisanto got the bob.
Brilliant run by Brisanto, wasn't it? And again, that was over the 1,200 metres. I think that's a big bonus because I know the horse has won its last 2 over the 1,200 and a good thing, but I don't think it's a 1,200 metre horse still. So I think back to the 1,000 metres is a massive bonus. The question mark has to be here that's carrying 58 kilos. Barrier 4, though, gets a really nice run. My only concern, beaten 3 lengths by Recoiled at the same track and distance and still at the same weight. So a small concern there about Brisanto, but has to be, I think, in your top 3.
Yeah, I really like this filly, and I had her a couple of starts ago when she won it for 13-1, I think. But her last 2 starts where she's won, she looked off the bit at the turn, but just kept on fighting on. And then last start, again, she had a wall of horses coming at her, managed to hold them off. So I think she's, again, a good chance here. Just the weight to with 58 kilos, we'll see how she goes. We've also got Recalled, who'll definitely lead them up.
Yeah, I think this is a massive bonus dropping back from the 1200 to the 1000. Had it on top for both the 1000 wins. When it went to 1200, didn't want to play at all, and I thought that was a pretty obvious thing from the way it's been running this gelding by Demerit. Maybe when it gets older, it'll want that further, and it might have not appreciated the soft track. But I think at the moment, 1000, maybe 1100, ideal for this galloper. Barrier 6 to 58 kilos. I think conditions will really suit. It'll go to the front and be very hard to run down.
Might not get it all its own way, but I think it'll be tough enough to be there for a long part of it, the race. We'll also have a look down the bottom there. Number 9, Captivated Point. Now, as I mentioned, only won a maiden, one start, won a maiden at Albany, a pretty soft maiden at that, but the way he put away those horses by about 5 lengths was really impressive.
Yeah, it was a really nice performance, wasn't it? As you mentioned, a 5.8 length win there was at Albany. The time was good as well, was on a soft track on that occasion, went forward, so from barrier 5, dropping in weight as well down to the 54 kilos. There's a big positive, and the question mark is how will it handle pressure? That's what we all don't know, but from the times and the way that it ran, I can see exactly why you could have it in your top 4. Another gelding by Demerit in this race as well, so certainly looks to be a progressive type. We'll take a look at the selections. I'm going to go with number 3, Recalled, from number 1, Brisanto, 5 12 rounds, and 2, Mystic Maid.
I'm backing in Steve Wolf to get this horse to the right race. Number 9, Captivated Point, from 5 12 rounds, 6, Shady Grey, and 3, Recoiled.
Race number 3, it's over the 1,000 metres at Ascot, and the one thing we know about this race, Mark, there is speed left, right and centre, and there may be too much speed. It may be a backmarker like an Auntie Zelma might be running on to win this race.
Another leader, we'll have a look at its replay, winning the Marjorie Charleston Classic last start, Military Rain.
Last of all is Let Me Impress. Military Rain's about to be tackled by Magnificio at the 250, but Military Rain's got a kick. Military Rain, she'd raced away from Magnificio, winking a nod, struggling back in the field, then Cadenza, but Military Rain is clear of Magnificio, who can make no impression, and a great first up win by Military Rain. She won brilliantly.
She was super impressive, wasn't she? It was a tremendous performance there, drifted out on the odds on course, and understandable as well, going up against the likes of Magnificio and winking a nod as well. But the one thing we've learnt about this filly is that her early runs are her best. She's 3 from 3 when first up, 2 from 2 second up. Those 5 wins are the only 5 wins she's had in her career. So early on is the way to go, and you can see why trainer Darren McAuliffe skipped the trial. He just knows what he has fresh and wants to really cash in on that. So this race looks ideal. The 1,000 metres is great as well. William Pike stays on board. The big thing for mine is the 59 kilos. Hasn't won with more than 56. We know that these universal rulers, the likes of Faux Shizzle and these types, just Furious Dame, do not run with the weight on their backs. So big question mark here, but I still had to put her on top in this race.
And as you mentioned, Adam, she'll probably still have to go to the front and carry that weight. Much easier than coming from the back with that kind of weight. We've also got Born Supremacy, whose last couple of runs have been not bad, but a little bit off looking at the numbers. But 2 starts into the prep, ran 2 cracking seconds and back to 1,000 here, and can definitely be in the mix.
Well, you mentioned those first 2 runs, and that's the big thing that I looked at. They were over the 1,000 metres, so I think that's a big positive here. Barrier 1, the Winkers go on 56.5 kilos. Again, with the speed in the race, should be able to just sit just behind them in the perfect position. They do tire out in front. Born Supremacy to be the one attacking the line strongly.
Another leader on paper, Hot Goods from the Justin Warwick yard. Hasn't shown what it's shown in its first preparation.
No, certainly hasn't. And maybe going up in the weights hasn't held that. Carried 58.5 first up, carried the 56.5 last up with a good field as well. And that day wasn't a leader's day either. So I'm willing just to excuse Hot Goods. I think you get a little bit of a price about it. But as I mentioned, this probably looks the better race. Barrier 2, 56 kilos at the 1,000 metres. And it looks as though it should be a good day for leaders as well. So I think we'll see her return to her best. Whether she wins the race, I'm not sure.
If only we had 800 metre races, she'd win all of them, I reckon.
Exactly right. We'll take a look at the selections for this race. I'm going to tip number 1, Military Rain, from 7, Hot Goods, number 6, Born Supremacy, and 8, Profit Street.
I've got the 6 on top to sit behind a Hot Speed, number 6, Born Supremacy, 7, Hot Goods, 1, Military Rain, and 4, Marchand.
Race number 4 at Ascot. It's one of my favourite events of the year, the West Australia Cup over the 3,200 metres. And Mark, you weren't with us last season, but I can tell you when this race was on and they went past the post for the first time, the atmosphere was electric. It was something that clearly the people in WA enjoyed, this racing over the extra distance.
The classic 2 mile, eh? We'll have a look at the replay horse, Badamajo, winning the AHA Cup at Bunbury. 3 starts back.
Great though in front at the 250 mark, and she'd kicked away 2 in front of Saxapack. Dust Me Off. Resets Mate on the inside, followed by Tower of Lonro getting up near the inside. Tonto. Cougar Knights down the outside, but Damajo's the leader with 100 to go though, clear of Tower of Lonro, coming at the rate of knots. Tower of Lonro, but Damajo.
She's a classy mare, this 8-year-old, and you don't often say they get it better with age, but she certainly has. Barrier to the 54.5 kilos. I've got huge question marks here in this race though over her. You take a look at even the step up, the Bunbury Cup over the 2200, Pinjarra over 2300, and she has faded late. I think ideally she's 1800 to 2100 max. She is going to need this race to be run at a slow race, and considering she does go forward in dictate terms, I just think she's really going to struggle to run out the 3200.
That's what I'm banking on, Adam. But Damajo to just get to the front and get it as soft as possible. It doesn't look like she'll be pressured too much. I don't think there are too many genuine stayers in this race, including herself, but if she gets in front and they go slow enough, I think she can definitely be the one to catch. We've also got at the top there Tower of Lonro, who carries the 59 kilos, and looking at his record, rightfully so.
Oh yeah, exactly right. Rightfully so in the weight, and can carry the 59 kilos. We saw that last at the Pinjarra Cup. We're just losing by a neck. Again, the 3200 metres, a bit of a question mark here, but I really like the way the gallop has been going about it. You know that fitness isn't going to be an issue, training on the heavy sandwich, a rant as well. So although carrying that weight, I've still got Tower of Lonro as probably the best chance, and probably the safest chance in a race where we can't analyse a lot of form.
We've also got to have a look at the horses that have run over the 3200 metres from last year, Adam. Probably have to give those ones the best chance. Another one of those is Resets Mate, who comes into this off a nice run at in the Pinjarra Cup behind Zarance, but still would need to improve a few lengths.
I go back to the run 4 starts ago, now the AHA Cup as well, behind Badamajo there, and as you said, you have to do this. You have to go back to the run last time they did this, and Resets Mate was good. Saxy Grace was really good on that occasion. Small concern with the bar plates going on for this start. And Kira Boy on that occasion carried the 59 kilos, so drops down 5 kilos to the 54 as well. All 3 of those ran that race and ran well as well. But I had Resets Mate as one of the major chances. I've actually put it in for second, and I think Saxy Grace as well. Just from that, we know we'll get the 3200 metres. You really do have to look at those form lines. We'll take a look at the selections. I'm going with number 1, Tower of Lonro. From number 8, Resets Mate. Number 9, Saxy Grace, and 2, Dubai Escapade.
I've got the 3 on top, but Damajo from 8 Resets Mate, 9 Saxy Grace, and 1 Tower of Lonro.